All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Blitz 21. And we certainly hope you enjoyed yesterday's sessions. We hope you've enjoyed all the sessions all week. And let's face it, because it's Huddle, we're going to have a stacked lineup again today, and we are beyond pumped for our roster of speakers. But before we get started with all of that, we'd love to thank today's presenting sponsor, and that's Team Builder. Team Builder is the top strength and conditioning software for high schools. Over 1,000 high schools use Team Builder software to streamline their training programs and track athlete progress. Team Builder is giving away a 1-year subscription and a 50-inch flat screen TV to one lucky winner. Make sure you visit the sponsors page at blitz.Hudl.com and to enter to win. That's blitz.Hudl.com to enter to win. So let's go ahead and get started. I mean, because this is, to me, pretty darn cool. Most of the guests that we have, they don't need a whole lot of introduction. This man certainly doesn't. But I've got to tell you, I'm going to give you a little bit anyway, because how often do you get to sit and listen to a man who's won a Super Bowl, whose team contends not just for the playoffs each and every year, but to get back to the Super Bowl? He's been the NFL's Coach of the Year, coached some of the greatest defensive players in the history of our game, working with a superstar quarterback now that he and his staff had the foresight to not only draft, but have a plan for him before they even drafted him. I get lucky enough to call Ravens games during the year, and it's really, really cool now to have a chance to talk to him here on Blitz 21. Ladies and gentlemen, a warm Blitz 21 welcome to Coach John Harbaugh of the Baltimore Ravens. Coach, how you doing?
Charles, man, great to see you. Great to be with you and all the coaches on the call here, man. This is exciting. I'm always amazed by Hudl. You know, back in the day we had the VHS tapes. I even go back to the 16-millimeter film. They just grab it from the coach and promise it back the next day. It's incredible what Hudl's doing, you know, for coaching and for all the sports, for evaluations. I watched my daughter play lacrosse on it. It's just an incredible tool.
You know, Coach, when you talk about that going back and all the things that you're doing now with Hudl, but going back in the day, your dad, head coach in college football. I was just talking with you before we came on air about what a tremendous honor and a great afternoon of watching your team practice and talking with your father. Talk about that 16 millimeter. Were you sitting there watching that with your dad on the refrigerator? Like, you know, a lot of guys use the refrigerator. A lot of coaches use that refrigerator as their screen. Was that what you were doing at home as well?
Yeah, my dad had a setup in the basement. So we had, Jim and I had in the same little room, it was kind of this little corner under the steps next to the laundry room. We had a little coat hanger wire basketball hoop for a tennis ball. So we'd play one-on-one down there and just take each other out, you know, day after day. And that was also my dad's film room. And he had a piece of white cardboard plastic, you know, like poster board, you know, taped up against the wall. And he had the 16 millimeter projector. So we'd be playing. He'd go, all right, sit down here. We're done playing. We're going to watch some tape and watch some film back then. And we'd do it. He taught us how to splice film back then.
Yeah.
Silver side up for all the old coaches out there. And we used to put them on paper clips all around the room and make his cut up. So, man, that's how we grew up. You know, your coach's kids. That's what you learn.
Well, you get to your red zone cut-ups now, offense and defense, a little bit differently with Hudl. But you're exactly right. Those different strips. I remember doing the same thing for my dad, so I totally get it. Coach, I will take no more time right now. It's time for your presentation. We're going to kick back and listen and learn, and then I'll come back in at the back end, or anytime you want to bring me back and do something. I'll be here the entire time. But you go ahead and let's educate all these great coaches out there, and we're looking forward to it.
Awesome, Charles. Thank you. Love you, man. We go back a long time, ever since you stopped playing and started working, and I love seeing you every single year, week after week. So thanks for that.
Appreciate you.
All right, everybody, man, I just wanted to thank you for coming out and just want to talk a little football, more than anything, team building, culture building, maybe a couple stories in there, but just kind of tell you how we try to do it here in Baltimore. I do believe that, you know, we've got a bunch of guys that love football. We try to keep it simple. We try to keep it about what we're about, you know, which is playing football and some other things that go with it, you know, that kind of build the idea how you play and what you play for and who you play for and those kind of things. But first of all, you know, just to thank you for what you do, you know, for our country and for our children. My dad and I wrote something 3 or 4 years ago. It came out because we were looking at football and it was kind of coming under attack with a lot of the concussion stuff, which, you know, we've all done a great job of mitigating that and growing from that. And it was really kind of under attack big time, you know, so we felt it. So we kind of wrote this and put it out, and it was good. A lot of people saw it and liked it. And I want to read it to you if you don't mind, because I think it's really good in terms of it just honors what you do. I'm going to put a screen share up here and see if I can figure this out, and hopefully the screen share will come up. Do you have it right now? Should be up there now, right? If I got that screen share up there, I'm pretty proud of myself right now.
You got it, Coach. You got it.
Nice. Okay, I still got something else to do. I've got to get it to click over to the next one. I don't know I'm not going to know how to get it to the next thing here. Oh, well, there it goes. Why football matters. I don't know how that came up, but it works. So we'll see if it works for us. So here we go. Why football matters, all right? The game of football is under attack. We see it every day in the headlines and on the news. The medical concerns are pressing. The game has taken its share of criticism. President Obama, who we love, said that if he had boys, he wouldn't let them play football. Even LeBron James, who we also love, has publicly said no to football in his house. The question is asked over and over, why would anyone want to play football? And why would anyone let their kids play? Here's my answer. I believe there's no other place where a young man is held to a higher standard. Football is hard, it's tough, it demands discipline. It teaches obedience. It builds character. Football is a metaphor for life. This game asks a young man to push himself further than he ever thought he would go. It literally challenges his physical courage. It shows him what it means to sacrifice for something bigger than himself. It teaches him the importance of doing his job well. We learn to put others first, and we learn to lift our teammates and ourselves up together. Where else are you going to feel that? Football has faced challenges like this before. In 1905, there were 19 player deaths, and at least 137 serious injuries. These occurred at the high school and college levels. Major colleges said they were going to drop football because the game had become too violent. That's when President Teddy Roosevelt stepped in to call a meeting with the coaches and athletic advisors from Harvard, Princeton, and Yale. He wanted to find a way to make the game safer. They made significant changes, introducing new rules like the forward pass and the wide receiver position. Those changes turned football more into the game that we know today. We made progress, rules changed, society evolved, the game advanced. We're at another turning point in our sport. The concussion issue, for one, is real, and we have to face it. We have to continue to get players into better helmets. We have to teach tackling the right way. That starts at the NFL level. Change the rules, take certain things out of the game. It's all the right thing to do. But even with all that, the importance of football hasn't changed. In most ways, it's more important than ever. And the most critical place for football is at the youth and high school levels where you coach. For 97% of our football players, the pinnacle of their careers is the high school game. Few players ever go on to the college level, even less make it to the pros. For a lot of these kids, it's not going to be until it's all said and done that they look back several years down the road, maybe, that they realize the difference the sport made in their lives. Have you ever really met anybody who played 4 years of high school football, 2 years, 3 years of high school football, and at the end of the run says, man, I wish I wouldn't have played? It doesn't happen. That's why high school football, and particularly high school football coaches, play such a vital role in our society. Our football coaches are on the front lines of the battle for the hearts and minds of the young men in our society. The culture war is on, right? We see it every day. These young men are more vulnerable than ever. How many youth and high school coaches serve as father figures to their players? How many mothers look to the coaches of their son's football team as the last best hope to show their son what it means to put others and something bigger than themselves first, more than we'll ever know? Coaches teach our young people the lessons of life that are difficult to learn anywhere else. Coaches have the kind of influence in our schools, the kind of positive influence with our young people that is very challenging to come by anywhere else. Billy Graham once said, quote, "One coach will influence more people in 1 year than the average person will do in a lifetime." My dad also says all the time that it just takes one person to believe in a young man or young woman to change their lives. I couldn't agree more. I know you see it every day. Our culture teaches us to judge an activity by how it's going to make us feel right now. But football does not work that way. The game challenges us and pushes us. It's often uncomfortable. It requires us to be at our best. Isn't that what we want in our society? Football is a great sport. Football teams can be the catalyst for good in our schools and in our communities. Millions of people have learned lessons in football that they could only learn through playing this game. Football has saved lives. It's made people better. That is why football matters. So that's the message there. I think big picture. And that's why at our level, as we look back and guys have coached in high school, guys have coached in college, some guys played the game in the NFL and became coaches, all kind of different avenues and places. But everybody respects the job that coaches do at every level, especially the high school, junior high, and youth level. So thank you for what you do, okay? What I want to do is kind of get into how we begin to build our team a little bit. Go through it quickly, and then maybe tell a couple stories here and see if there's any questions. But this is part of what we do with our first team meeting. And we try to lay out what we're all about, what we're here for, who we are, and what our identity is going to be as a football team. It's a little different probably because it's pro football. It's different than college. It's certainly different than high school in the sense of where you kind of move the needle with the values. Our guys are anywhere from, fathers of 5, 6, 7 kids to, hey, kids themselves, 20, 21 years old, just coming out of college. But it's professional sports, and we try to keep the focus on that part of it. And then, the characters under that umbrella and who they are as people hopefully reflects in how they conduct themselves and how they play. So we start off with our team mission. We try to keep it simple. We say, become the best football team in the NFL and prove it. That's what our team mission is and everything that goes into it. We talk about our goals. Our goals this year are the same goals that we have every year. First order is in order of importance, okay? Number 1, world champions. Number 2, win the AFC championship. 3, win the AFC North championship. 4, make the playoffs. 5, win the next game. And then we say there's an order to accomplishing those things, all right? One day at a time, win. What's important now, okay? The first order of business is to win the next game and to do what it takes to win the next game. Then make the playoffs. Then win the AFC North championship. Then win the AFC championship. And then win the world championship, okay? Our why do we do this, okay? What we say is Ravens, the question, who are we and what are we here for? I ask the guys all the time, in the meeting, and sometimes we get caught up in a lot of different things, but what are we here for? I mean, here we are, a bunch of men, and we have women now too in the organization. Whoever's in that room, men and women, we're a bunch of people that are from a very diverse place, diverse backgrounds, diverse, different place, different race, different space, okay? Different religious beliefs, different family situations, okay? All brought together for a reason. If you're like, I believe that things happen for a reason, okay? That's not random. It's not chance. So if we're here for a reason, what is the reason? What are we here for? And I look around the room and some guy will say football, and we'll say, that's right, football. We're here for football. That's what we're here for. That's what it starts. That's what we're built around. So let's focus on the simple thing. Let's be the best football team we can be. And who are we? We are the Ravens, all right? You're a Raven for a reason. Either we wanted you or you wanted us, okay? And what does it mean to be a Raven? And we'll ask them what that is. And they usually come up with the same ideas, rough, tough, disciplined, hard-nosed kind of football team, okay? We are conquerors, and we are here. Our purpose and our why is to conquer the National Football League. What's our team basis? What is our foundation? What do we stand on, okay? The team, that's what we stand on. This goes back to Bo Schembechler. Just what you're talking about, Charles. When my dad was watching tape down there, when we were in high school, it was of the Michigan football team. And Bo Schembechler always talked about what it was about and what it was going to be about and what it's always been about was the team. The team, the team. I can hear him saying it right now, just like that. The team, the team, the team. Everything we do, every decision we make is with one thought, the team. Get as good as we can as a team now, today. And that's the goal. So we focus on that. So, hey, there's a lot of things that go into it. And individual accomplishments and individual development is a huge part of being as good as we can be as a team. At the end of the day, we stand on the team. What's our vision? What is a vision? Okay. A vision is a shared understanding. And that's why we start off with this kind of an idea. Okay. We are going to try to build a shared understanding for everything that we're doing. Okay. From our why, our team basis, our operation, how we're going to play offense, defense, special teams, play to play, day to day, meeting to meeting, understanding of what we're doing. Team vision. What's our team vision? Well, we have a saying around here. It's been around here long before I got here. It's play like a Raven. All right. My daughter's a lacrosse player now at Notre Dame, and they say, play like a champion today. All right. I like that one too. Play like a Raven. What does that mean? Okay. Our guys understand it. It means rough, tough, disciplined, smart football. All right. Life is short. Run to the ball. We'll talk about that later just a little bit. We're here for a reason. So that's a team vision, but we also have an individual vision, you know, and we'd ask them, what is your individual vision? I text them, usually text, because that's how the guys like to talk nowadays. And you kind of get guys on record too. What is your vision and what are your goals for this season? It matters to the player, right? Sometimes we'll say, and I got this from Steve Bisciotti, we'll say to some guys, you know, who might not be living up to their vision or to your vision for them, you know, the minute that your career means more to me than it does to you, that's a problem, mostly for you, right? So what is your vision for what you want to do? It matters to you, right? And it matters to me, and it matters to all of us. All of us here want to see a player fulfill his vision. What's his goal? And what I try to do is paint that vision for the player in terms of how I see him as often as I can. Not every single day if I can, but we got a lot of players, certainly on a regular basis. Okay, this is what you're doing well, man. This is where I see you going. How do you feel? You know, where are you going? Where are we at? And I put the Allison story up there. You know, I won't go into that too deep right now, but I can just tell you as a college player in high school, she had a rough time for a little bit of a while, and there really wasn't. She was having a tough time seeing where she was going, and I didn't always think that the people around her had a great vision for her, but that was between her and them, you know, and she had to figure that out. But the idea is eventually it starts to come into focus in terms of, you know, the player has high hopes, high dreams. You know, they have ambitions for themselves, aspirations. And I think as a coach, if you can come alongside them and share that vision with them, in other words, I want you to be successful. I want you to be great. This is the kind of football player that you could become. Man, that's an empowering thing. And then clarity of vision, okay? You got to make it clear in everything. Everything we do, we talk to our coaches. I put in there, no CYA allowed. We all know that. We're not going to coach after the fact and say it should have been done this way or that way. We want to make it clear. We want everything to be crystal clear. Nobody's fooling anybody anyway. So this is how we want to do it. This is where we're err on this side of it. And this is our plan. We talked to them in that first meeting about rules, and we basically say we don't have any rules. Okay. What we have are standards and we have principles. Okay. We have things that we consider to be basic truths. All right. These are some of them. And, you know, sometimes when you talk about the way to communicate, you know, sometimes short is good. Down at the bottom in the red, it said we have a comms rule. Actually learned that this summer from some military friends. And we were planning our Zoom meetings and how to make our Zoom meetings most effective. And what they told us, when you communicate, you know, whether it's in battle or whether it's just over a radio or through the computer, they had a rule. And the rule was this, threefold: be bold, be brilliant, be brief. Believe me, the players loved it when we said that, especially the be brief part. It's okay to be bold and be brilliant. That's fine, coach, but please be brief, okay? And that's what we try to do, and we relay some of these vision things. So what are the basic truths? Okay, work hard, all right? Can we understand that? Play with shocking effort. That's one we use a lot. That's one that we shared with the Notre Dame lacrosse team here just recently. All right, can you play with a shocking effort? A level that when they see it on tape, they're trying to understand, is it real? Then when they see it, they understand that it is real, and it's a shocking effort that knocks them off their balance. Be a good guy, okay? That means respect the people around you and in the program, right? Who you come in contact with. Be a pro. We can understand what that means. And you're talking about things like being on time, putting forth your best effort, preparing, all right? Finish everything. That is a little thing that's a big thing. So our players talked a lot about the last couple of years when, you know, we lost in the playoffs. We 3 years ago when Lamar started, you know, we came back from the brink of of elimination, and we got ourselves into the playoffs, and then we lost in the first round to the Chargers. And last year, we went, we started off 2-2, beat the Steelers in a tough overtime game, and reeled off 12 straight wins. Didn't finish it, got beat the first round. Even this year, we're still not there yet, but we did win first round playoff game, but we weren't able to finish. And really only one team finishes the way they want to finish. And this year it was who? I forget. Oh, it was Tampa Bay, and they deserved it. Okay. So, but what leads up to that is the idea that you finish everything, man. You finish every lift, you finish every meeting, you finish every meal. All right. We're going to touch the line when we condition. We're going to run the conditioning test the right way. Okay. Try to finish everything in the proper way. Make it right. The idea that we're going to do it right, but we don't always bat 1,000. And when we don't do it right, we're going to make it right. So that's the basis of our discipline. We're not talking so much about rules. We're talking about doing things the right way. And when we stub our toe, when we're late, okay, we correct it. Now, we can find people. So we do. And it's not a lot, but we'll hear if a guy comes walking in late to a meeting, it doesn't put me in a position where I'm going to say, oh, you know what, you don't care. It's not important to you. We're not screaming at guys. The players will start whistling and they'll just say, make it right. And, that means, do your penance, make your payment, and don't let it happen again. We say confront everything, not anybody. To me, that's critically important. So if we're going to attack, if we're going to get better, we're going to challenge one another, we're going to hold each other accountable, which is something that we all use, right? Then we've got to understand that it's not personal. We're not talking about who we are. We know who we all are. We know we believe in one another. We know the type of people we have in this room. We're confronting the thing. We're jumping off sides. We're not lining up the right way. Our footwork's not where it needs to be. We're not playing hard enough. We're not finishing the way we need to. We're not starting the way we need to. All right. We don't understand the offense and the defense quite the way we need to. We're confronting every aspect of anything. It's 100% rule. Nothing slides. So if a guy does walk in late to the meeting, it's not okay. It's going to be addressed. It's going to be made right. Okay. There's no excuses. We say, unless all 4 tires fall off your car on the way in, there's no excuse except for family. If something comes up with the family, that comes first. Okay. And that takes precedence over everything. Iron sharpens iron, right? That's biblical. That's Proverbs. Okay. That's competition. We make each other better. And one of the principles to iron sharpens iron is this, it's the attitude of the iron. What is the attitude of the iron? Okay. Well, I came to learn that attitude, when you talk about like a plane, it's the angle of the wings. So iron sharpens iron. Put the thought in your mind in the Bible of the double-edged sword, right? Like the one the Romans used to conquer the world, those swords they had. And those swords had to be sharp, razor sharp. How did they sharpen them? One another. Well, they had to be at the right attitude to sharpen one another. If they were at the wrong attitude, if someone had the wrong mindset, the wrong approach coming in, they hit each other at the wrong attitude. Now the sparks are flying. Chips are being made. Swords get broken, okay? People get broken. Let's take the right attitude to one another, to this competition, and let's make each other better. This is one that I learned from some military friends, and it really took off last year because Lamar, we put it on a t-shirt, and Lamar wore it all the time because it really resonated with him and what he was facing and what he was trying, I think, still trying to prove and accomplish. Nobody cares. Work harder. Nobody cares about, how tough it is, how hard it is, the criticism that you're facing, that you're not playing as much as you should. Nobody cares, right? Some people say I can't complain. It's good because nobody wants to hear it anyway. Or they might go, oh, boy, that's tough, man. I really feel bad for you. Then they walk away, right, Charles? And they never even think about it again. So, hey, man, yeah, they care. We want to care. We want to be empathetic. But really, you want to do better, work harder, right? Relentless pursuit. I finish everything in there again. You can see that, right? So that means it must be really important. And then bottom line, man, relentless pursuit of winning football. Bill Belichick always talks about the line. You got to be above the competency line, all right? Relentless pursuit of winning football. The first thing you've got to do is not lose the game. Many times, if you play not losing football, your opponent will lose the game for you, and then you'll be the winner. But let's pursue winning football, all right? The things that good, disciplined, tough, solid football, okay? Hold on to the football. Get first downs, tackling, all the fundamentals that go into that. That's what comes up. So be bold, be brilliant, be brief, and try to do the things that we're talking about from a principle standpoint. we'll say to the guys, standards and principles are written in stone, but methods are not. So examples of standards and principles are things we've been talking about, but the big one, the one my dad always talks about, been talking to us about since we were kids, he'll say, who's got it better than us?
Nobody.
Nobody, Charles. Nobody. Although the young cousins every now and then will go, somebody's got it better than us, Papa. Somebody has to. But they learn, Charles. They learn. Nobody has it better than us. And our players, man, I was afraid to say it to them the first couple of years because I thought, oh, they're going to think it's kind of corny, They loved it. They loved it. They'll say it to me, Coach, who's got it better than us? Nobody, all right? Then they'll say, attack the day with an enthusiasm unknown to mankind. When I was in 5th grade, man, I was, you think you know everything. Dad, come on, unknown to mankind. What are we talking about here? Then as you get older and you start to think in terms of spirituality and you start to think about higher things, right? Then you start to understand what an enthusiasm unknown to mankind is. And it's, I would say, a Holy Spirit enthusiasm, something that, we can't fathom on our own, but we can fathom on a higher realm. And that's, I don't know if my dad, I've talked to him about that. I don't know if he really thought about it that way, but we kind of talk about it now that way. So, man, you better have enthusiasm. You better be bringing it every single day. The power of suggestion, okay? It kind of comes back to Allison's lesson. I did not understand this because as coaches, we are always correcting, right? Always, we got to get this fixed. We got to get that fixed. Hey, 95% of the time we walk up to a guy, you got to turn your toe left, turn your toe right. You got to go faster, got to go slower, got to have a wider base, got to have a narrow base. And pretty soon the player starts to think like, even I did as a player, man, I can't do anything right. It's like Dick Vermeil says, you treat someone like a chump, you have a chump. You treat him like a champ, you have a champ. So, but I didn't really learn that until Allison started becoming an athlete. And I saw how she would come home after practice based on how the coach kind of spoke to her. And the coaches that were uplifting, were positive, that 95% of the time they told her how well what she was doing well. Because you know what? 95% of the time, your players are doing things the right way. They're doing them well. Okay, so if you'll put it in context and tell them, and you got to work at it now. It's hard to tell somebody, good job, good job, good job. That's right. And tell them why over and over again. That's why it's a lot of work to be a coach. But then 5% of the time when it's time to correct them, they're going to be all ears because they understand the perspective that you're coming from is that they're doing things really right. And this is something that can make them even better. Oh, by the way, Coach, I know you believe in me. The days are long, but the years are short. All right. Life is short. Run to the ball. Life is hard, but at least it's short. I got that one from Matt Burke recently. That's the one that made me laugh. But when you think about it, it's kind of positive too. Okay. So these are things my brother taught me. The days are long, but the years are short. And there's a good story about that. When we went to the Super Bowl, we lost the year before to the Patriots, landed in Providence, okay? Took off from Providence after the heartbreaking loss when we missed the field, dropped the pass, missed the field goal, and had to go through a whole year, got right back there the next year, won the game, went to the Super Bowl to play my brother. Before the game, Bill Belichick looks at me before the game as we watch the Niners go in and score. He looks at me and he says, after they scored, he looks at me and he looks at me, I'm serious as a heartbeat, and he says, looks like your brother's in the Super Bowl. Thanks, Coach. We're getting ready to play it to go to the Super Bowl with Coach Belichick. So, man, okay. I guess he was being funny. I look back on it and I could just laugh. But, okay, the days, every day to get back to that spot where we were playing them, those days were long. But when we got off that plane in Providence 1 year later, it seemed like just yesterday we had gotten back on the plane and headed back to Baltimore with the loss, okay? The days are long, but the years are short. So speaking about time, all right, I want to kind of get into time a little bit here. This is something that I guess I'm trying this out, Charles, for the coaches here because this is what I'm working on for the team, all right, coming up going forward. Because as we get a little bit older, all right, we start to think about time a lot more, don't we? I mean, time is running short, and I'll say to the players, guys, we don't got much time. Or I'll say, you know what? We might as well go hard. We might as well make a difference. Let's do something because we're all going to be dead soon anyway. And they look at me like, really, Coach? Not too soon, right? Not too soon. But in the grand scheme of things, soon enough. The clock is ticking, okay? It's time to do something, okay? So this is something I'm going to share with the guys and I'm going to share it with you. So thoughts about time. It's the way to kind of put it in perspective for the players. an old time clock, right? Think of it, the kind with a face and hands. It shows what time it is. So it's got the little hand here and the big hand here and the second hand going around. You can tell what time it is. But the old time clock also tells you what time it was. And it tells you what time it'll be. It's all on the clock, past, present, and future. The new age clocks, all right, the ones that have I got an old time clock, but the new age clocks that have just the letters on them, the numbers on them, they really give you only the present, all right? And that's not a bad thing either. But these are kind of significant symbols of how we view time. We tell the guys, and we started telling the guys this year, the past is a memory, the future is a possibility, the present is the reality, all right? The present is the time that you live. Einstein was right. Time is relative. And we know that even by the way we experience time. We experience time in the present. We feel it right now. Tick, tick, tick. We're living inside of time. Sometimes it goes fast when we're having fun. Sometimes it goes slow when we're not having fun, when we're bored, or whether we're in pain. It's relative. But the past and the future don't have a concept of time attached to them. The past is really a fleeting, momentary thoughts. Like we said, we call them memories. If you look back at the past, can you think about the past in terms of time, what it was like to be in that situation, how long it took? No, you think about the moment. You think about the experience, okay? You think about what happened in that instance. They're called memories. And hopefully, most of them are pleasant memories, good memories, not regrets. So when you're driving the car and you go, oh, I wish that wouldn't have happened, okay? The present is what makes the past good. The more good things that we can do in the present, the more times we can look back and think, man, that was good. I'm glad I said that. I'm glad I did that. I'm glad I went there. I'm glad I put my arm around that person. What a great moment. Even when we lose, okay? If we gave it everything we had, we can look back and go, it was tough, but man, the regret of not working hard enough or not treating somebody right, those are hard to get past, all right? There's not a feeling of time in the past. It's a moment. The future is hope, all right? I hope it's hope, or it's fears. Yeah, it's probably both, but only that's something that's out there. Yeah, because how long is it going to last? How long is it going to feel? No, it's a vague kind of vapor type of a thing. So that's why we say, life is short. Run to the ball. That's a football thing. I mean, this is the play that you're given right now. We talked to the guys throughout the end of the season, throughout the playoffs. We said, play this play. All right, just play this play. There is no play before, and there is no play ahead. Just make this play your best play. Make it your hardest played play. Life is short. Run to the ball. If you get tired, come out. We got lots of good players. They'll go in and take a blow and get back out there and play this play. You make a great play, brush it off and play the next play. You make a bad play, brush it off and make the next play. Jimmy Smith, one of our corners, we've been together a long time, Jimmy and I, since 2012, the year we won the Super Bowl. And he'd carry, and you're a corner, right? They say corners are supposed to have a short memory, Charles. Okay. He would carry, you get beat. But we did this thing together. We said, and that was just brush it off. All right. Make a bad play, brush it off. And sometimes he'll be out there, he'll make a lot of great plays, and I'll be brush it off, move on. But he does that. But he'll make a bad play, and he'll look at me, and he'll go, that's right. Brush it off. Let's roll, man. So that's kind of the idea. You think about this. What will you remember, and what will you be remembered for? Because that's all that really matters, and that's all that really is, and it's really up to us, okay? Is it worth it to you to leave an impression on people too? If you look back on your college days or whatever, Charles, your playing days, doesn't everybody remember you, and don't you remember everybody? It's really not the question about whether you remember somebody, right?
No, not at all.
It's what do you remember about the person?
Right.
And you have a thought about the person. I love that guy who was funny. I love that guy who was tough. Oh, that guy, So how do you want to be remembered by people? All right. Last thought on time. All right. And I just learned this in the last week, and I think it is so cool. The Greeks have two words for our word called time: Chronos and Kairos. All right. Probably a lot of you out there know this already. I just learned it, didn't know it. I've heard of Chronos. I never heard of Kairos. Chronos is the root for chronological. That's probably why we've heard of it in English. It's the calendar, and it's the clock, and it's really important. It's really important to manage the chronological time, to organize it, to make good use of your time, all right? To be on time. If you don't control your schedule is going to control you. It's impossible to be successful without this aspect of time. The other one we don't have a word for in English. We don't have a word for Kairos. Kairos is about redeeming the time. All right. Kairos makes the most of the opportunity of time. It's about the moments of time. It's about how the present connects to the past and to the future. It's what you remember of the past and what you hope for the future, which is created in the present. All right. That's making the most of the moment, right? Chronos counts time. Kairos makes time count. So I'll leave you with these two questions, and I want to tell you a story. And this is a good question, I think, for our players. You know, are you counting the days, or are you making the days count? You get into training camp, it's tough, it's hard. You know, are we counting the minutes in practice, or are we making the minutes count? Are we just trying to get through the weight session? Are we just trying to get through the meeting, or are we making the meeting count? All right, that's a valuable question. And when it's all said and done, and all these people around us that we share this moment with, all right, when they look back on this, what we're doing, what will they remember of you? That's a valuable thing to think about. All right. So, Charles, speaking of time, I want to tell everybody about the time Lamar got cramps on Monday Night Football. All right.
Oh, thank you, Coach, because I am so glad you're bringing this up. That was one of the moments, right? The memories of the 2020 NFL season. So now we're going to get the full background on all of this because, you know, we were all sitting at home going, what's going on? What's happening? Let us have it, Coach.
Well, I want you to know, Charles, I was there and I was saying, what's going on? What's happening? Just like you were. It was crazy. But let me set the stage a little bit, okay? So up until that point in the season, we started off pretty good, you know, had a tough game against the Chiefs. We got out to a 5-1 start. Then we lost it. We lost a couple games, played Tennessee, got beat in overtime in a real hard-fought game at home. That was the same game that Coach Vrabel and I almost duked it out on the, the sidelines there. We laugh about that. I tried to make the point. We're different weight classes, just for the record. But I'd have gone low, man. You know, they'd have broken it up quickly. But and then after that game, I got a call that night, and we got two guys had tested positive for COVID. And hey, we've all been through that. I mean, how many games does everybody miss? How many practice? How many seasons? You know, we're fighting to get the spring season going right now. But that was kind of a tough deal. And we had the Thursday night game against the Steelers coming up. Huge game for the division lead, all right, in front of us Thursday. And I promise you, the league wanted to play that game. And they told us they were going to play the game. So, but we had to get through the COVID thing. So we're not allowed in the building until Monday night. They felt like it was going to be under control. They felt like they had it traced. And they were going to let us come in and do a walkthrough to start to get ready for the game. So we came in Monday. They let us come in Tuesday for the second walkthrough. And then Tuesday at about 11, we had to clear the building. That's when more tests came back, and they realized that the tail, as they put it, was not stopped. Okay. So they put us out, and we didn't find out until Wednesday night right before we got on the plane to go to Pittsburgh that we weren't going to go play the game on Thursday. They were going to push it back to Sunday, but you can bet that game was going to be played on Sunday. So every day, you know, Wednesday, more tests came back positive, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and we didn't travel on Saturday, and they reluctantly had to push the game back to Tuesday. They thought it was certainly done because now we're talking, 7 days. And we ended up having it's another deal, but we had one of these strains that we've learned about since that's highly contagious. And we ended up getting positives up until Tuesday. So they ended up pushing the game back to Thursday. We had 16 players out. We had, maybe 10 staff and a few coaches out. And we got on the plane Tuesday night, and we had another positive Tuesday night. And I told the players, we're not going. They didn't want to go with positives. I said, we're not going to make anybody go that doesn't want to go play. We're on the tarmac, Charles, before the game. I mean, the wind is howling. It's a winter deal. We got these two jets out there because we had to space everybody. The engines are whirring. I pulled the leaders off the plane. We're in a huddle. And I said, guys, we got another positive. And they all looked at me like, are you kidding me? And it's like, no, we got another positive. And they just said, what does it mean? I said, well, it means that anybody that doesn't want to get on this plane and make this trip, we understand. And one of our captains, Anthony Levine, said, Coach, are they playing the game tomorrow night? I said, yeah, we're playing the game. He said, then we're all going. And we got on the plane and we went and played. And we played our hearts out. It was a Wednesday afternoon, right? A lot of people watched it. And they were undefeated. And if we play winning football like we're supposed to, we don't turn the ball over early, we'd have won that game. But, RG played his heart out. Others, guys that were on the practice squad, and we almost won the game. Trace McSorley. So that's okay. And we got in that locker room afterwards, and we realized that we were going to have to win out. I thought maybe 10 wins would get it, Charles. So I thought maybe we'd have leeway to lose one. And Joe Cullen, who's now the defensive coordinator of the Jaguars, well, I said to the team, I think 10 wins going to get it, guys. We're going to have to win 4 out of 5. And coach goes, we're going to have to win them all. I said, all right, then we got to win them all. All right, we got to win 5 out of 5. That's what we're going to do. And the guys were, it was a good locker room after a loss. So we're going to play on Tuesday night. Now the next Tuesday we're going to play the Cowboys, a game that was supposed to be played the next day on Thursday. So we went out there, played well, and beat the Cowboys. Lamar came back on Monday, played well on Tuesday, and we won the game. Everybody played well, but we had guys coming back every day. Then the next Monday night was the Browns game. So it was going to be 4 games in 12 days with guys coming back from COVID. And it really was affecting them physically. Guys really weren't practicing too much, but they were fighting through it, and I was proud of them. So we go into the Browns game. I think everybody's okay. We're excited to play the game. It's a big division game. We got a win under our belt. We only got 4 more to go, but we know we got to win them all. And we go out there and we start the game. Cleveland, they have fans, all right? It's a little bit loud. They're fired up. I mean, they got it rolling. They won a couple, 2, 3 in a row, maybe more. I can't remember. They thought it was their time, and, they had a good season. And so we start playing the game. We get out to a lead. As the game went on, we started the 12 days and the COVID stuff started affecting us, and we started wearing down. Guys started cramping up, and we started getting tired, and they started coming back. And it got to the point where really in the second half, we really couldn't stop them, Charles. And Lamar, as you know, goes out after the first series of the third quarter. I look around, we're getting McSorley's warming up, and the trainer comes up and he taps me on the shoulder. He said, Lamar's out, he's got cramps. I go, what are we doing? We're gonna get him an IV. They take him back and they start putting him on the IV. And I found out because the quarterback coach told me it was not what everybody said it was. It was cramps, Charles, real cramps. But started in his left hand, his fingers did that. Then his forearm, right? Then it went through his whole body, and he was locked up. So they had to carry him back to the locker room. They got him on all the RVs. I'm thinking, okay, we'll put him on the IV. Cramps, he'll be back in the series. Another series. Trace is doing all right. They're scoring, we're not. Oh, we scored, they're scoring, we're not. Next thing you know, they take the lead, right? With about, I don't know, what was it? It was 4 minutes left in the game, maybe something like that.
Yeah. They
take the lead, and they're in a place that the 10,000 fans are going crazy. They're up, I think 3, if I remember right. And still no sign of Lamar. But Trace is doing okay. And we get the ball back at our 25-yard line, and clock's ticking down. It's about 3.5 minutes, and it's 4th and I think 10, Charles, something like that. Mm-hmm. Season's on the line. Trace goes back and he hits Willie Snead right over here in a curl route for an 11-yard gain. And we got life. We got life. We're alive. Get a call. Get the personnel group out there. We're rolling. He works us down the field. We get the ball down to the 45-yard line. They're 45. That would be about a 63-yard field goal, okay? Yeah. We're 3rd and 1, though, Charles. We're going to run the ball, baby, and we're going to take this thing down, and we're going to score the winning touchdown. Now we're getting close to 2 minutes, okay? We're going to end it on this drive right here with Trace McSorley leading the way, okay? I don't want to – my offensive coordinator does a great job. We called a play that we thought was going to go. It was kind of going to be a fake sweep quarterback keep. So I'm a second guess or two. Can we just run downhill? Can we run Gus downhill? Okay. Second guessing. We didn't. He gets hit 5 yards in the backfield. Now it's 4th and 5, and worse, my man Trace is down.
Yeah.
He ended up missing the season with a knee injury. So it's 4th and 5, and we got no quarterback, and it's the 2-minute warning. Our season, it looks bleak. And I'm just standing there like this. What are we going to do? The officials come over. They want to tell me how many timeouts we got and to put my flag away. And I'm just like, don't talk to me right now. I don't want to talk to anybody. And so we got it's 4th and 5. The ball's at the 40. I'm going to say it. No, the ball's at the 50-yard line then, maybe 49, 50-yard line. And so okay, I regain my footing, and I realize, okay, who's the quarterback? And it's Willie Snead. Willie Snead's the quarterback, and Willie's like right there. And I look over at Willie, and he is looking right at me, taking a snap from the center. He looks at me, and he says, Coach, this is my time to shine.
That's so Willie.
That's Willie.
It's so Willie.
Did it make me feel better? No, it didn't. But I appreciated it. And then Tucker, who always runs right by me when he wants to kick a field goal, comes clicking by me, spins around, and looks at me like, am I kicking the field goal? And I look at him, and I go, it's 68 yards. And he kind of looks at me like, he goes, yeah. And I go, can you make it? Because then I'm thinking it might be a good idea.
Yeah.
He looks at me and he says, I think I got a better chance than Willie. And I'm like, I think you might be right. Just then, before the decision has to get made, the trainer taps me on the shoulder and says, he's back. And I'm like, who? And here he comes, Lamar, right? Like Willis Reed out of the tunnel, comes through the back of the bench, and he says, I got this, coach. I got it. So later on the plane on the way back, I said, Lamar, man, I said, what happened? And he said, Coach, he goes, I was still cramping. But when I saw Willie taking snaps, I knew I had to come back. So 4th and 5, we call up, it's a 4 vertical type pass. He drops back. He looks, he breaks out to the right, and I'm on the sideline. I see him break out this way, and I can see there's nobody for like 15 yards. And I'm saying just what everybody else is saying, and I scream and I go, run, run. And just as I say, run, he flicks the ball out. Just as I start to scream, run, he flicks the ball downfield. So I'm like this. Because I want to see who he's throwing to. And he's throwing to my guy, Marquise. Now, Marquise had a great season, but that game up until that point, Charles, he had dropped 3 passes, right? Oh, so what did I say? I said, dear God, let him catch it. And he caught it, and he ran it in for a touchdown. Everybody's going crazy, okay? But there's 1:55 left in the game still, and our defense is gassed, and we haven't stopped them since the start of the 3rd quarter. So I get Wink on the phone, and I say, what do you think? And he says, what do you think? I said, whatever happens, Wink, make it happen quick. Okay? He goes, what do you mean? I said, either get him off the field or let him score fast. One of the two. It's our only chance. Okay? So he goes, okay, gotcha. And he came through. They scored in 3 plays. Boom, boom, boom. Touchdown. Place is going crazy again. Remember the play? And then he's on the pylon, right? Yep. They're reviewing it. And I'm the only time in my life ever, I'm thinking, oh, dear God, I hope he scored.
Yeah, called a touchdown.
It's got to be a touchdown. We need the ball back. Or better, they're going to be at the 1 now. Run it down. We need the ball back. It was a touchdown. Lamar, you know what happened. Took us back down the field. Tucker goes out there, kicks the winning field goal. Everybody goes crazy. We found a way to win the game. It's the most exciting game of the season, right? Oh, man. Then after that, we finished it out. But then, like I said, Lamar said, I saw Willie, man. I knew I had to come back in. It's crazy.
So, Coach, is that when I hear all of that going into it, I go back to earlier in in the conversation when you were talking to us. Lamar really grasped onto the team. What's best for the team right now is I don't care how many cramps I have. Justin said it first. I got a better shot than Willie. That's right. Lamar's like, I got a better shot than both of you.
That's right. That is exactly right, man. So you know what? It goes right back to the very first team meeting, right?
Yep.
Back to the beginning. But I tell you, that's our team, and that's what I love about our guys. I feel like kind of what we're talking about. When you're a coach, and I don't care what level you're coaching at. When you got a group around you, whether it's a group of 8-year-old girls lacrosse players or girls softball players or a junior high basketball team or whatever you're coaching, that is a group of people that are together there for a reason. They've been brought together for a reason. And there's something that's going to come out of this that's going to be spiritual and magical and wonderful, that's going to make a difference in people's lives, okay? And there are going to be moments that are going to happen that we're going to look back on, and we're going to tell these stories. I mean, isn't that what we say all the time? You want a testimony, you got to have a test, okay? Something's got to happen. Something's got to happen. It's got to be a challenge that you've got to push your way through and find a way to make something happen. Then you own that testimony for the rest of your life, all right? That's what the past is. That's what it's all about. So, and then creating the hope for those people that these things are going to be in their future, you know, if they work hard enough and if they stick together and if they believe in one another and if they lift each other up, if they work hard, all those things. So that's just the great thing about coaching. What else would you rather do? You know, what else would you rather be a part of? Okay. I remember thinking on the sideline, Charles, I just feel so grateful, really probably more after the game in the locker room. And then even after the locker room celebration, which, as you know, is nothing like it after a win.
Nothing.
Sitting on the plane, driving home by myself, you know, at 3 o'clock in the morning after we got home, just grateful to be able to be a part of something like that is going to last forever. Okay. And that, I don't know, that just has meaning, you know. To me, that's what it's all about. That's why we do what we do.
Coach, cannot thank you enough. Absolutely cannot thank you enough. And I can just say on behalf of Hudl, Blitz 21, everyone who's involved in this right now, no one has it better than us. No, and everyone's going to go out there and attack their day with an enthusiasm unknown to mankind. And thank you also for Chronos. And is it Kairos?
Kairos, Kairos.
We got to redeem our opportunities, redeem our time. And Coach, this has been fantastic. I cannot thank you enough. Thank you, especially for letting us know what went down with Lamar and the cramps. That's one of the great stories. And those guys coming together as teammates, who has a better opportunity? and our man came through. Coach John Harbaugh, Super Bowl winning coach of the Baltimore Ravens. Again, on behalf of Blitz 21 and Hudl and everyone involved in this convention, thank you so much for getting us going tonight. This has just been fantastic. I look forward to visiting with you over the summer and seeing you again in the fall.
Thank you very much, Charles. It's been an honor. Anytime we can be around coaches and be around you and be around people that care about young people, man, that is what it's all about. And I've had a blast. So great seeing you again. Great seeing everybody. Have a great night. And Coach Gruden, get after it. We'll see you.
All right. You take care, Coach. All the best. We'll talk to you soon. I'll be following Notre Dame lacrosse as well. See all those goals being scored. All right, everyone. Make sure you understand now we're going to take a 5-minute break. All right. 5-minute break. Gather yourselves. And then we'll come back and we got some Trailblazers on the other side.